Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to RealScreenReviews.com, and I'm happy to have with me returning guest critic Greg Hill to the Ebert seat. Thank you very much for being here, Greg.
Thanks for having me again. You keep putting up with me. I don't know why.
I'll tell you, we keep putting up with them because we love having his thoughts and opinions here in the Ebert seat. And the movie that we are going to be reviewing today is The Expendables, and it opened in nationwide release on Friday, August 13th, 2010, and it comes to us from writer, director, and star Sylvester Stallone, and joining Sylvester Stallone on screen this time is
Jason Statham
and Jet Li,
Dolph Lundgren,
Eric Roberts,
Randy Couture,
Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Mickey Rourke,
and Bruce Willis.
And no, we didn't just read that. And here to tell us a little bit about the plot and the storyline of The Expendables is our guest critic, Greg.
Well, basically, The Expendables starts out, we see them on a mission, and Sylvester Stallone, his character, I believe, what was his name? Is
Roy something? Ray?
Barney.
Barney.
Barney something. They don't really say names all that much. But he's obviously the leader of this group of mercenaries, and from what I gathered, it seems to be a group that's struggling to find work.
Yeah, that's what it seems to me too, because they're all hurting for money. Yeah,
but they get this job offer, and they do some investigating into the job, and that's a brief.
It's a very simple plot. They're hired to go after this General Garza. General Garza,
like
and he's a very, very bad man into the drug cartel scene. Well, I'll start out that by saying I got to give it up to Sylvester Stallone because the man really knows how to make an action movie. He knows how to make an action movie. He knows what his fans want. He knows what his fans want to see. He knows what they're paying money to see, and he delivers tenfold with this film. And I got to compliment the man because he realizes his age at this point, and he surrounded himself with the best heavy hitters, I think, since the Dirty Dozen, in my opinion. Just a fantastic, well-rounded action cast. But I have to compliment him because I love the fact where it was near the end of the movie, but where he actually gets beat up and he says, "I just got my butt kicked." But I gotta compliment the guy on not trying to make himself out to be some kind of superhero like he was in the 80s. I thought it was great. Greg?
Oh yeah, no question. Stallone definitely sticks to what he knows best. I mean, this has been his career. He's made his living, you know, making all of us wish we could do the things that he does.
Absolutely.
And really, he does surround himself with the best talent that there is in this genre of filmmaking.
Absolutely.
He really delivers with this one.
Tom Cruise was in Night and Day about a month and a half ago, and I thought that he still made a very credible action star at 47. But Stallone is still a very credible action star at almost 60 years old. I mean, you gotta tip your hat to the guy.
I think he's even older than 60, though. I think I heard somewhere he's like 64.
Well, it's not. I don't know. I really don't know his age. But I will say, I mean, he knows how to make an absolute entertaining action and fighting film. Okay.
But yeah, casting. I mean, brilliant casting. I mean,
Absolutely.
They all have very good chemistry with each other. I love the way when they were in their plane, you know, talking back and forth to each other, and the way they're all making fun of each other, sticking it to each other, just great.
You know who I thought actually stood out, though, amongst all these people, all the names were out, is Jason Statham.
Oh.
Jason Statham, I think, was the perfect complement to Sylvester Stallone. I thought that he's almost a younger version of Sylvester Stallone. He's what Sylvester Stallone was maybe 20 years ago. But the scene where he's at the front of the plane I was absolutely so entertaining. It was very, very well done. I thought he was the basketball court, the basketball court. The theater actually applauded. There's a scene where it involves Jason Statham's girlfriend, and it ends that kind of ends on a basketball court, but the theater was clapping when that happened here.
It was the same as I might have been the only one applauding. I think I was the only one reacting in my theater. I don't know if anybody else was alive or had a pulse.
Oh no, I saw with a great crowd actually.
But yeah, there was a lot of younger kids in my theater.
Even though the movie is filled with what I would call not very credible dialogue, it has great car chases. It has great hand-to-hand fight sequences. There's a fight between Dolph Lundgren and Jet Li, which I think is probably one of the best choreographed fight scenes I've seen in such a long time. I just an entertaining movie, I think, through and through. I wasn't expecting a lot. You know, I think they delivered exactly what I was expecting when I went in.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, there's all these heavy hitters, all these people, they're a mercenary group. You're expecting to see them blow things up and to see explosions, and boy, you're not disappointed in this movie.
Oh, yeah. The whole time I was watching this movie, I just kept saying to myself, finally, finally an action movie that isn't a video game.
Absolutely.
That is not loaded with CGI, that doesn't have this huge budget, that
No,
just takes away from what there really is. It was real actors doing real stunts, and everything was happening on the camera. There was nothing that was computer.
And what about Terry Crews's gun at the end?
Oh,
I mean, it was laugh out loud funny. This gun does so much destruction. It was totally entertaining. I think the guys that were in this movie, I think you could tell from watching this film that they had a fun time making this movie, and I just thought it was a real treat for the audience.
Oh yeah. And you know, like usual action movies, the story does lack.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
this one, you can tell they just had so much fun filming it.
Yes.
That and everything else about the film was just so top quality that you don't care.
And we do have to make mention of the fact of the 3 biggest action stars of all time filmed together for the very first time. I thought the scene worked. They got to poke fun at each other. We're talking obviously about Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, and Sylvester Stallone get to share the screen for the first time ever in a film.
Yes.
And I don't want to compare it to the 2 legends of the movie Heat, Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, but it really was something to see these 3 legendary action stars, if not the 3 legendary action stars of all time, on the screen at the same time. It was really a treat.
Oh, it was. And, you know, I think, you know, the world stopped for a second when that scene came in.
At least for all the people that grew up loving these movies, it did anyway.
But yeah, I mean, in the 80s and the early 90s, if there was an action movie that came out, it was one of these 3 guys that was starring in that movie.
Well, all right, well, let's get to this. How many stars are you going to give it?
Like I said, I've been waiting for a movie like this for a long time.
So you're unbiased. You're not swayed in any direction going.
I'm not swayed in any direction. I'm completely unbiased. But I think a lot of people have been waiting for a movie like this, something refreshing that's not, like I said, a video game. I gave this movie 3.25 stars. Like I said, the story does lack, but you really don't care watching this movie. It's just a fun time. I'm
going to say just a tad bit less down, but I'm going to say it's 3 stars because, like I said, there's no surprises here. It's a straight action movie. It's a throwback to the action films of the 80s, and if that's what you're interested in, you're going to be totally satisfied walking out. I say a solid movie, 3 stars out of 4. I really enjoyed this film.
Oh yeah, definitely worth your time and money to go see this one, especially if, like he said, you're a fan of the old action movies.
Absolutely. Well, I guess we're going to sum this up, and I'm going to say, Greg, thank you so much for joining me in the Ebert seat once again. And
we're not always right, only when it comes to the movies.
And thank you very much for your attention.